Hi, welcome to The Real Deal on the Virtual Channel Network. I am Ivy Isenberg, and I'm a casting director, and today we're going to do a general meeting with an actor. So, welcome, Jean Elie.
Hello, how you doing?
How are you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good, I'm awesome.
Good?
I am awesome, yeah. So, why don't we just start with, where are you from? What brought you here?
I'm from Boston. I was born in Boston, raised in Brockton.
Where's Brockton?
Brockton is 10 minutes outside of Boston.
Okay.
That's what brought me over here.
All right.
Acting.
Trying to get you to not swivel.
Oh.
Don't worry, I only grabbed the armchair.
Right. What brought me out here was acting.
It's like,
yeah.
woo.
What brought me out here was acting.
Right, but I'm just looking over your resume, and I'm wondering what you did in your hometown. Did you graduate college?
I graduated Johnson Wales University with a business degree in entrepreneurship studies, in the science of entrepreneurship studies.
So where did you go from business to wanting to be a performer? Was it always a part of you? I want to hear about that. Your sort of inspiration for, because you're from Boston, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or a town outside of Boston.
Yeah.
So for those people that are from all across the United States that want to pick up and move to Los Angeles or have picked up and moved to Los Angeles, why don't you tell me a little bit about that little, like in an oyster, there's that little irritant and it turns into a pearl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so why don't you talk about that little seed that kind of grew and grew and grew, and you're like, I have got to go to Los Angeles, and then sort of what made that what was the impetus for that jump?
All right. What made me actually take the final step and actually move out here was after my brother passed away.
Okay.
My brother passed away, and which really made me want to leave and come over here. Because in Boston, I was always in entertainment. I was always into the entertainment, like music, and like watching movies and actors, and like I like how all that stuff moves people. How music moves people, how actors move people. Like watching a Denzel Washington movie, John Q was a crazy movie I like to watch. Boys in the Hood was another movie I like to watch. Like all those a lot of earlier movies I like to watch too as well that actually moved me and made me want to like actually try it out. I always had this thing where I could somewhat cry on cue. So it's like it happens on sometimes when I'm really connecting with things too as well. And what really the really deciding factor that made me want to get into acting was I went to this thing called Pro Scout.
Oh.
I went to this thing called Pro Scout, and they told me I had what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, cool. Let me do some research on it and see if I really want to do it. Because if I'm going to do it, I got to go all the way in. So I went on Craigslist and I found a little gig called Make Them Cry. It was like a short indie film that they submit to like festivals and everything like that. I was going there just for background at first.
Okay.
Because I thought it was just going to be background. I was like, all right, cool. Let me just go see how everything works out, see how it is and everything like that. And when I got there, they ended up making me be a character in it. So I started talking. I had to talk. But things I had no lines. So I improv the whole thing. Made up this whole story and everything like that. And at the end of the shoot, the director came to me and was like, hey, have you ever did this before? I was like, nah, this is my first time. I've never done this ever. He was like, you're real good. Like, I was like, oh, all right, okay. So I kept doing some more digging online. I got called to do a reality pilot in the Bahamas.
Okay.
True TV. So I went out to Miami, did a pilot for like 3 days over in the Bahamas, and I liked it. I was like, oh, this is great. I like this stuff. I was like, I might do reality TV. I was like, either Boston, either California, or Miami.
Okay.
My cousin was like, no, don't do that. No, do reality TV. Reality TV is not for you. Don't do that. You're an actor, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, all right, cool. So, and then after my brother passed away, and I was like, you know what? I have to go. I got to go hard or go home. There's no reason for me to sit here. There's nothing for me in Boston anymore. So I got up and left, and I came over here to LA.
And what do you see the difference between reality and scripted television is?
Scripted television like TV shows and everything like that, it's like you actually get to be somebody else. You get to be somebody else. You get to walk in somebody else's shoes. You get to walk through all walks of life when you're doing When you go on reality TV, it's really like fictitious. It's very fictitious because you're actually told what to say and how to act and how to get your message across to people, and how just so that you can make sure to get ratings and get things done that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then whereas TV,
I mean, reality TV is not real.
no.
What?
but yeah, but and
so you opted, but I don't see. Here's my I guess my question is this something that you really want to do? Because I don't see you studied business in college.
Mm-hmm.
You're newly out here, and I don't really see any training.
Training I did a code reading training class with Thomas Benson in Boston over in Everett.
Okay.
Everett, Massachusetts. I did a code reading class with him. That was like the first training I've ever did. And then after that, I've just been reading Meisner, Uta Hagen. I've been reading those books, and then I've been putting them into practice. What I do is now here and back home, what I do is I'll take a camera like these ones right here. I would set it up. I would set up the camera at my house and then put like a blue screen behind me.
Okay.
And then I would have people come over, other actors come over. We do code readings there. Okay. We do scenes there too as well, and do scene studies and stuff like that. Now, currently right now, what I'm doing is I'm auditing classes as well. So I'm auditing classes, figure out which class would be best for me. When I first got here, I went to this class for a little bit, where they had like the guidance 6, where it shows you like 6 emotions you go through through acting, like happy, sad, anger, mad, and all that stuff. So I was doing that for a little bit as well too when I first got out here. And now it's just more like I'm reading more, I'm chilling, I'm hanging out with more actors, seeing more, learning more from them as well too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do think it's important. I see your credits on here, but I do think it's important for actors to put their training on their resume. And so as you get more involved in classes, you should start putting that down, because for me as a casting director, that's a red flag to show the things that you've done that have been both reality and television, but no training whatsoever is on here. So I have no way of knowing how serious you're actually taking the craft of acting now that you're out here without putting that training on your resume.
In my defense, the reason why
but I'm just saying for future, so that when you revise your resume, as more and more credits happen, and as you audit more classes, to put that on there, because what we're doing for our viewing audience is we're doing generals to sort of discuss what I look for, what different actors bring to the table, and so as a casting director, I think training is so pivotal to growing as a performer. And for someone who works on a lot of different mediums, for me, it's just a red flag if I see that there's no training listed on a resume. So I think that that's a good note for you for future.
Definitely.
So is this something that you're going to do?
Yes, of course. It's something I gotta do. The only reason why is I printed off LA casting. And it was too long to fit on there. So, like, I've had training with Helen McCready, who's a casting director, too, as well. She's very cool. She trained me on, at the top of the year, I was up for a role in CSI Miami.
Okay.
So, I went to her for private coaching.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, good. And so, if you couldn't do this, what would you do?
If I couldn't do acting, I would probably work behind the scenes.
Interesting.
I would direct.
Okay. I
would like to direct, because I like, when I'm reading these scripts that I'm getting nowadays, it's like I'm picturing everything in my head as it's happening, as it go through, and emotions and cameras, seeing behind the scenes. I like seeing all that stuff.
And how long have you been in Los Angeles?
I've been in Los Angeles for about 9 months now.
Okay. And then do you have any words of advice to actors who are still in their hometown, maybe people in Boston, maybe, just anywhere else, or people in, in other parts of the world, what that process of moving to Los Angeles and getting an apartment, finding good classes, etc. Do you have any advice for our viewers at home?
My advice to you guys is, when you get out here, grind. Don't ever stop. Now, when you get out here, it's going to be tough at first. So you want to make sure you go out and look for all the classes. You get on your LA classes, you get on Central classes, network, meet people, talk to people. They have a lot of people who will share information with you. When I got out here, I moved out here and I lived in an apartment with somebody else, which was a studio, and I lived on the floor. And then quickly moved from there to moving in a 5-bedroom house. Now I have a 5-bedroom house. I didn't have a car. I was taking the bus everywhere. Now I got a car too as well. After you start working gigs and start plugging yourself and marketing yourself, marketing is the best thing you have to do when you get out here. You start marketing yourself, people start paying attention to you, people start looking for you, and then you start getting work. And when you first came in before we started rolling, what did you say to my producers and I? Oh, be early and be on time. Because be professional at all times. Because when you first get here, your time and your name is everything. So make sure you're always on time so everybody remembers that you're always on time.
Yeah, he showed up early, so early. We were like, we were shocked. And then not only that, and then he started saying, well, I've done my research and I've seen the show and I've, you know, and I know a little bit about you and XYZ, and that's always really impressive. Okay, good. So any last little tidbits of advice? What's one thing that you want people to avoid when they get out here? What's one like warning?
Don't get caught up in all the partying and like.
Oh, thank God you said that.
Do not get caught up in all that nonsense.
Thank God for that.
If you're going out, go out to network. Don't go out to party. All right. Don't do all that. All right.
Such a smart man. How did you get so smart?
My mom taught me well.
Good job, Mom. You did a great job. Well, thanks for watching us on The Real Deal on the Virtual Channel Network. And Jean, welcome to Los Angeles. We're happy to have you. And it's nice to see someone who, you know, knows to the grindstone and really puts the effort in there. So I hope that your journey is an easy one. See you next time on The Real Deal on the Virtual Channel Network.